going to focus on the positional aspects of it via the pawn structure and see how this will dictate the play for both sides. So this pawn structure is from the Pirc, which was transposed. So this is a very important structure to look at. We see that the center is closed with the white d-pawn forward. This kind of center will decide the plans by both sides. It means that white will expand on the queen side. That is his main priority, while keeping his king safe at all costs. Because with white's d-pawn forward and this kind of center, white will generally have full reign on the queen side and will usually win a pawn. Black, on the other hand, will do a King Indian style attack on white's king with his pawns, as we can see here, indicated by black's pawn on f4. Or as I like to call it, a kitchen sink attack, because black will throw everything but the kitchen sink at white's king. Let's look at a couple other very important factors of this position. There are a couple of them in this position. Now that we've looked at the pawn structure, and we see how that will dictate the plans for both sides, we will look at how that same pawn structure affects the usefulness of the minor pieces by both sides. So we know that the center is closed, and we know that this favors the knight, So we know that the center is closed and that this will favor the knight because of its short range ability and the power of utilizing outposts. White in this case will have the two knights, and we will see them being very dominant in this game because of their potential. Black in this case will have a knight and a light squared bishop, which is the right color in this case, but we will see that even though the bishop is of the right color, it is no match for the power of the knights in this position. The final factor in this position that will favor white is the position of each player's king. Note how white's king is tucked away on the king side, whereas black's king is stuck in the center. We will see black's king paying the price for this. The reason black pays the price for this is because as soon as white starts harassing black's king, it will force him to stop his attack on white's king, and black will become passive because of this. We will see this play out in some variations, where black's king in the center will be troublesome. So to review, we see a couple of factors in this position that favor white: the semi-open c-file for queenside play, the two knights in the closed position, and black's king getting caught in the center. All of these will play a role in white's win. So now let's look at the game and a couple of variations. We will now take a look at the game and see how those positional elements play out in the realization of white's win. Just protecting my center pawn. Just protecting my pawn on d4 again. Black strikes at white's center. I will just close it, and then the pawn structure you will see will kind of turn into a Ruy Lopez on the queen side. Now this is a good move by black, and it's telling me that he's going to do a kitchen sink attack. Prevent his knight coming into g4, attacking my central pawn on e4. Now we have the start of the middle game. We'll see that the center's closed as discussed earlier, and white already has that semi-open file to work with on the c-file. And we will see black trying to get his attack going, but as discussed earlier, the knights will be good, and white will penetrate via the c-file and while black is doing his attack. Unfortunately, his king is going to get caught in the center. That last move, sorry, is a pseudo threat. I'm obviously not going to take the knight, so I just ignore it and castle. Now, I played f3 in this position, but let's look at the queen to c7 and see how brutal that is already in deciding the game, because black will get his king caught in the center. So we'll take a look at that. Black attacks it, but it leads to this. And white can deflect the defender of the knight. And that's how deadly that penetration is on the c-file already. What he should have played is that, but he gets his king caught in the center. Watch the knights come to life. And white's looking pretty good because he can always harass that a6 pawn. But this is, if he penetrates, watch, he's still going to get it. King caught in the center. Looks like he's got the double attack on the knights, but that move is brutal. The inner zero on the queen. And then he knights brutal and he loses a piece anyway. Because his king is caught in the center. And there's the power of those knights I was talking about earlier. But now he's done. He's positionally lost already. So now we're going to take a look at how my opponent had played. Now, as discussed, I played f3 in this position just to try to keep my lines closed against black's attack. Now that move, he should have then moved his rook to c8. Black's attack wouldn't bear any fruit, and white would have positional play on the queen side, and his knights would be superior to the knight and the bishop. So it'd still be a good position for white. So now that he omits that, lets my queen penetrate because black is focused strictly on the attack. Now he's just going to get it. Queen penetrates. Now here, slightly better. Or pardon me, this leads to that, as we still see the king get caught in the center. And now white's up 2 pawns. Black can get a pawn back, but it doesn't matter. Because white owns the center and the queen side. And look at black's weak pawns on the queen side. And that knight's going to be dominant too later. Because he can go pawn to b4, knight to b3, and then knight to c5. That's what should have happened, but there's that issue again. Black's king getting caught in the center. And white can harass these weak queenside pawns because the center's solid. And there's the knight damaging the structure. And once again, the knight's strength in a closed position. So white's doing pretty good in this position. But now we already know his position's over. Take. He's up 2 pawns, but unfortunately for black, he sees a checkmating combination, but he gets it wrong by 1 move because white can finish it off 1 move first, and we'll see that. But we already know that black's in a back position. His king's got in the center, hell-bent on the attack, like described the whole match. He thinks he has a mate, but unfortunately for him, he misses a certain point. Starts combination, which is unsound. Check. I had seen this move because it'll take him 2 moves to do it, but it'll just take me 1. He does it, but it's wrong. Boom, boom. Game's over. And the game's over. So, we saw in that game how white's benefit of the semi-open c-file caused black's downfall in conjunction with black having his king caught in the center. So I'll quickly run through that game and run through the 2 main points, which was white's play on the semi-open c-file, but the main trump in the position was black's king getting caught in the center. But white already had other stuff going for him, i.e. the knights in the dominant position in the center. So we'll see that semi-open c-file, and black's king getting caught in the center, and that'll be fatal. Quickly go over it. Close center. Black starts his attacking play, which was very good. White gets an open file first. Gets it. Stuffs black's play. Could have been better though. One mistake because he's hell-bent on the attack. Bam! And he's lost. Because the white's queen's penetrated. Bam. Unsound combination. And black's king had no chance. So I hope you learned lots from that. Main point being, in that one was black had his king caught in the center. Also, white could utilize the semi-open c-file first to great effect. And he already had the game won positionally by that sense. So thank you for your time, and I hope you learned lots, and have a good one.